Good afternoon. What do we want to learn today? Let's learn about the final exam. That's what I said. Let's learn about the final exam. All right. At this point, I'm assuming everybody has taken a look at the final exam page. In case you haven't, the final exam page has been up since the beginning of the quarter. So if you click on there, it's going to take you to this page. And as it states right up on the top, please read everything on this page. Let's start with the date. How many of you know the dates for all of your final exams? Okay, good. Did you look it up yourselves? Okay, good. Then you're all ahead. You also know you can look up winter and spring. So if you click on this page or this link, it takes you to this page with the Office of the Registrar. The academic calendar and the final exam calendar is set well in advance. So if you go to calendars here, you can see the calendar for last year, this year, and the next year. The year after that will be posted soon. It's at least 1 or 2 years in advance that's posted. You have the enrollment schedules, planning calendars, and the final exam schedules. When you click on that, it's the same page, it's just the same link. You can look up your exams for winter 26 as well as spring 26. It's always available. It's a public university. All of this information is public. Anybody, anywhere in the world can search for this and find it very easily discovered. Okay. Anyways, coming back to the date, assuming all of you here are at least been here for 3 years, so you know how to look up your schedules. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, our class is at 3 o'clock. So our exam is on Monday, December 8th, between 1 to 4 p.m. Okay, 1 to 4 p.m. Small nugget, by the way, if your class begins 7, 8, or 9 a.m., your exam is always between 7 and 10 a.m. If your class begins 10, 11, or 12, your exam is always between 10 and 1. If your class begins 1, 2, or 3 p.m., your exam is always between 1 and 4 p.m. This is structured by the university. I always follow this. And all instructors are required to follow this. So it ensures two things. It ensures that a student doesn't have a time conflict. Second, it ensures there's no room conflict, meaning this room will be available at this time for our final exam. There will be nobody else in this room. Okay. So our exam, again, is on Monday. It's set by the university. It's a normal paper-based exam. All you have to do is show up, show your ID, get a final exam copy of the final exam, and then you write paper-based assignment. Okay. All right. So that's the date and the time. Monday, December 8th, between 1 and 4 p.m. 2 hours and 50 minutes. 3 hours of fun. All right. Let's go here. So in addition to the normal university scheduled time, or actually not addition, I forgot the point. So it's not for 3 hours. My exams are set for 2 hours. So between 1:30 and 3:30 p.m. on Monday. Okay, we're not taking the full 3 hours. Starts at 1:30 and it's exactly 120 minutes later at 3:30 p.m. That's your work time. Okay, a 2-hour exam. Typically, I design my exams to run for 90 minutes from the student's perspective. Student's perspective should be done in 90 minutes and give an additional 30 minutes on top. So you have 120 minutes, full 2 hours for that exam. If you wish to have extra time to prepare, if you have a conflict on Monday, you have 3 other options. You can take it on the Wednesday, you can take it on a Friday, along with any of my other classes. So that's an option that I present to all of my students in all of my classes. So if you don't want to take it on Monday, if you think it's too early, you want to read some more, stress yourself out a little bit more, then you can take it on a Wednesday morning or Wednesday afternoon or Friday afternoon. It's right here in this classroom. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1:30 to 3:30, and Wednesday morning, 10:30 to 12:30. It's all listed on there. Okay. I do need to know if you wish for an alternative time because I need to print that many exams. Okay, taking it earlier or later does not give you any advantage or disadvantage. All exams will be different, but they'll be of very similar complexity levels. Okay, so if you take it on a Monday, if you take it on a Wednesday, it's not going to be any different. Very similar complexity level. All right. So the way you would let me know is by the survey or the form at the bottom of this page. As it says, only submit the form if you wish for an alternative time. I have hundreds of students. If everybody fills that out, it's a giant puzzle. I need to know, okay, who's not taking exam on Monday and who's taking it where. I need to fit how many students, all of that. It's a big giant puzzle. So I don't need information from students if they're taking it at the same time. I mean, at the regularly scheduled time, okay? If you're taking it on Monday, you don't need to submit the form. That is the university scheduled day and time. You simply show up. That's it. You only submit the form if you wish for an alternative time. Is that clear to everyone? Okay. So what I don't want to see on there is, oh yeah, I am enrolled in E306, and then I'm taking the exam at 306 on Monday. Okay, I don't want to see that. All right, so only submit it if it's alternate, if you wish for an alternative time. You can submit this till the very last minute, okay? If you submit an alternative time and don't show up, that's fine, okay? But do not show up alternative time without letting me know. Otherwise, there will not be an exam for you. Does everyone understand? The purpose of the form is so that I need to know how many students are showing up on that day. Otherwise, there will not be enough exams printed. All right, any questions so far? Speaking of printed, the format of the exam and the rules are listed at the top of the page. So you will come in here. You will present your ID, your Cal Poly ID, and then you will be handed a question sheet and an answer sheet, and you will sign in. Okay. This ensures that the student who is enrolled and registered is the person who's taking the exam and that the instructor has provided an exam to you. Okay. At the end, when you're done, you're going to return both the question sheet and the answer sheet back to me, and then you're going to sign out. Once I have both the question and the answer sheet and your signature, that's when I will accept the exam. This ensures that the student has turned in the exam and it's not lost from that point on. Okay, then it is my responsibility to safeguard your work. That means I should not be using an excuse that the dog ate your final exam. And so you get a 0 because I don't have it. Anyway. Let's see. So that's sign in, sign out. There is no online template. There's no online anything. Okay, you're not writing on tablet. You're writing in normal paper-based assignments. You're just writing. So you need to have your pencils, your pen, whatever implements you need to write on paper. Okay, that's what you would need. Okay. There's no Zoom option. It is not optional. It is mandatory. Mandatory means if you don't show up for the final, you get a 0. No, that's not what it means. The question being asked is about the equation sheet. So as far as I'm concerned, I like to keep the format the same. So it's the same format as the quizzes. So it's open book, open notes, open internet. As far as course material goes, exactly what you did for the quizzes. You have internet access on your tablets, on your laptops. Feel free to go nuts. But you only have like 2 hours in there. So it's not as if it's open book, so I'm going to make it like harder. It's not that. The point is that students retain certain knowledge, and then we are assessing your knowledge of those topics. So you have to understand what you have, not understand. You have to understand the topics, and you should be able to figure out what sequence and what steps you need to apply in order to arrive at a solution. Now, if you get stuck, if you forget one of the many thousands of things, then you have the resources at your end to help you in that situation. But if a student is going to sit there and trying to figure out the solution, then there's not enough time. Okay, does that make sense? It's the same thing as an equation sheet, but an equation sheet is basically either me giving you something or you're limited only to like one page or something. And I typically don't like that. Different students have different needs. So I'm not going to decide what you need. You decide what you need. Right? So it's open everything, but no software tools, no AI, no LT SPICE simulation, no dial a friend for help. Nothing like that. You have the resources you need, but it's you and your work, right? Yes. That's going to be there. Yes, you're preempting. You're running down the track. I'm running behind you, trying to catch up. All right. So open book, open notes, electronic devices, tablets, and laptops are permitted, restricted only to course material. That includes, course material includes the OneNote lectures, lecture slides, um, homework, online homework, the quizzes, quiz solutions, and lecture videos. You can, if you want to watch the lecture videos on YouTube, but then just have a pair of earphones. Obviously, again, 2 hours, so there's not enough time to sit there and watch 30-minute lecture videos. Let's see, calculator permitted. Obviously, it's actually required, not permitted. It's calculator would be required to perform calculations. All right, what was your question? Oh, what material? Yeah. What material you should look? Prep. Quizzes at the very top. Quizzes, and then homework assignments, and then lecture slides and videos for learning those techniques. Okay, so quizzes at the very top. Let's see. Topics. Topics have been on there since the beginning. We're not introduction to electronics. There was a small section, not small section. There was a small chapter at the beginning, but again, it's not going to be assessed separately. In solid state electronics, there'll be one problem and some short answer questions, perhaps based on fundamentals. That's basically our topics of P-type semiconductors and N-type semiconductors, doping, and then dopant impurity constant Na, Nd, those equations. Okay, so one short problem on that. Shouldn't be more than 10 minutes. I'd add 5 more minutes on top of that, so maybe about 15 minutes on that from the student's end, not from my end. Okay, 15 minutes approximately. Diodes and diode circuits, so short answer questions. Something using either the ideal diode model or the CVD model, but it's essentially diode analysis. Like if you have a diode in a circuit, how would you analyze that circuit, right? So you would assume a model, and then you know, figure out the analysis. I would estimate about 20 to 25 minutes for this one. So let's say about 40 minutes between the first two. Zener diodes, there might be a short question. Actually, no short answer questions. One problem, maybe a simple one on Zener regulator, perhaps. And that would be similar to what we've done in the homework. Okay, so I would estimate another 15 to 20 minutes. So for the first three, I would say about 60 minutes or so for the first three. And then BJT, the BJT is combined with amplifiers. So short answer questions for chapter 7, perhaps, and then one analysis for BJTs. And so the last two topics might be combined in one problem. Okay, so your BJT analysis and then BJT amplifiers may be combined in one problem. So load line analysis would include both BJT fundamentals as well as amplifier topics. Okay, so chapter 4 and chapter 7 may be combined in one problem. It won't be 1 to 2 problems separately. And so that would constitute the last 30 minutes. Okay, so 60 for the first three and 30 for the last BJTs. And that's it. No FETs or MOSFETs. And then you have 30 minutes above that, rounding up to a full 2 hours. So I would estimate, let's say 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5. That's it. Max of 5. Yes. No JFETs. No JFETs, no MOSFETs. I mean, I could make it longer, but you know, yes. Yeah, they're on the OneNote in the class notebook. See, so it should be. I think I didn't update the last 2 quizzes, but for the most part, they were on there. Um, oh wait, that's the wrong class. Yeah. Oh, so I had my apologies. I thought I had it on there. Nobody brought it up. I just assumed everybody knew until the last day of class. Some student asks. Yes, that's gonna be that's the next talking point. So yeah, it's right there in the class notebook. So all of them are there. I think the last 2, 7 and 8 are not. I need to work on those or posting those. As far as grading goes, I think we are all caught up during the Thanksgiving break. That was one advantage of having a break right before last week. It allowed me to get caught up on all the grading work. I think there's maybe quiz 1 is perhaps remaining, but other than that, I think we pretty much caught up with everything else. Um, and so, yeah. All right, let's go back to the page. Let's see. Yeah, exam is comprehensive cumulative, not optional, with 25% of your overall grade. So it's a sizable chunk, but it's not such a big chunk that if somebody is having an off day, it's not going to affect your grade in outsized proportions. I don't like to keep I don't like to keep final exams more than 30% in any of my classes. That's just, yeah, it's not 40% or 50%. So one off day should not affect any student disproportionately. Same format. Students must solve using a particular method if it asks for. This goes for any of your classes. We are required to teach certain topics to students, and then we are required to assess students on their knowledge of those topics. So if we ask you to solve it using, let's say, ideal diode, for instance, or voltage division, or current division for that matter, then students must show the work of that topic. Otherwise, I have no basis for assessment. I mean, we don't know whether the student knows this topic or learned anything. And that's the reason why most professors will give you a 0 if you don't use the desired method. Yes. Yeah, it's just spread across. I think I addressed that during the. Yeah, it's the quizzes are like 40 to 45, I think. Yes. Yes. Yeah. 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 So if I have a midterm, then usually I have like 6 quizzes. And if I don't have a midterm, it's like 8 or 9 quizzes. So we did up to eight. 8 quizzes is equivalent to in terms of time and assessment topics is actually more than 2 midterms. 2 midterms is like 100 minutes, 50. And the amount of quizzes we did, 8 quizzes, average of like say 20, 160 minutes. So more than 2 midterms. Same for us, the partial credit will be awarded according to correct work shown. Do not forget your units or unit prefixes. Okay, so units will cost you at least half a point. Repeated errors will just compound, right? So we don't want that. Okay, questions. We covered the date, the time, format, topics, credit, extra credit, everything. I'm gonna post one final video tomorrow. That's based on the summary of the BJT analysis, which is something I spoke about doing either today or on the video. So I think I'm gonna do the video and I'm gonna post it tomorrow. All right. Any questions about anything? Final exam topics? Anything else we have done through the quarter? Nope. Yes. Questions about that? Is it MOSFET or is it just JFET? FET. It's MOSFET. Okay. Is it due? So what's the question? Oh, I thought I changed it. I'll have to take a look at it. It's not? Okay, I'll take a look at it. If you haven't covered it, then I'll disregard it. Also, there are a couple of students who had reminded me that the BJT homework had an error, and then one other homework due dates need to be extended. So I'll be taking care of all of that. Tomorrow I'm wide open, so I'll be in my office from I would say 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Students can come in, and I'm available to students all day tomorrow. Okay. On Friday, I'll be available to students all day from, again, I want to say 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., except for like a 2-hour chunk of time from 12 to 2. But I'll be in my office available to all students. I'll also be available all through finals week. Okay. I'll be on campus. I'll be mostly in my office. Every once in a while, I might have a meeting or something. Then I might be out, or I might be in some other lab or office. But for the most part, for the next 2 weeks, not next 2 weeks, sorry, remainder of this week and next week, I will be in my office. Okay. All right. We'll end class here today. I'm around for any questions that you have for anything. I'm here till 4 o'clock. So if you have any questions, feel free to hang out. If you have no questions, feel free to leave. No. But I will be here. I mean, not here in this classroom, but I'll be in my office. Yeah. So how would you know? It's right at the top. I just say it's like mostly I think I'll be approving everybody. It's only lack of space if I don't, but by fire code, we can have 70 people in here. So I just don't have that many seats. There's 40, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we can go up to like 50 easily. So, and then I have the room next door. I can open up the room there too. So it's fine. Yeah. I don't foresee an issue. Yeah.